Welcome back to the time of your life. I'm your host, Ethel Rasmussen. Medicare Part D enrollment continues until December 7th. Here to bring you what you need to know is Sherry Colby, Program Manager for the State Health Insurance Assistance Program, known as SHIP at the Baltimore County Department of Aging. Welcome to the show, Sherry.
Thank you for having me.
Prior to beginning our conversation, can you briefly share the responsibilities of the SHIP office?
Okay, well, our mission is to educate Baltimore County residents about Medicare. So we speak with beneficiaries, families, or whatever to help them understand this insurance, which many people find confusing when they first come on board. So we teach them how Medicare enrollment, what Medicare A and B cover, about Advantage plans, supplements, Part D, and all these moving pieces that ultimately do fit together to provide you insurance.
Excellent. Sherry, you're on the show today to talk about Medicare Part D. What general information can you provide about Part D enrollment during this benefit year of 2021?
Well, first of all, I would like to encourage everyone who has a Medicare prescription drug plan to please do the research between October 15th to December 7th. The reason I'm trying to encourage people to do that is many times someone has a Part D and they're like, oh, everything worked last year, I'm just going to keep it. And they do that year after year. Then when we take a look and do research, we realize, wait a minute, they've been paying a high premium for a low tier generic. Sometimes we save people $500, $1,000 even by taking a look and doing this research. Now, the person can either, you can go onto your own computer, have the grandchild do it, call Medicare, or you can call the SHIP office at 410-887-2059. And I have a staff of volunteers who would be delighted to assist you with this research because it really is important. And we all have to watch our pennies. And this is just one more tool in your toolbox for actually doing that. Now, aside from that, each year, all the numbers go up. Like this year, the deductible is now $445, which I can already hear people going, about. However, when we do the research, some plans, they might charge you $0 for a tier 1 generic or very low pricing for tier 1 or tier 2. So just because there's a deductible doesn't mean you're going to have to pay 100% upfront. So it's really, we need to enter your drugs, pick your favorite pharmacy, and then go down to see which would be the best plan for you personally.
Can you share the four most important items enrollees should consider when selecting a Part D plan?
Boy, you're putting me on the spot. Let me see. Well, the first thing, obviously, is your drugs. You must enter them in exactly. Do you take a pill or a capsule? Okay, you know, that minute of a detail can influence cost. Also, pharmacies. You may have a favorite pharmacy, and it may come up as standard for the plan, but the preferred do have the best pricing over a standard. But if you have a favorite, you have a favorite, and I understand that. Let's see, what else? You want to look at the restrictions for your plan. Sometimes there might be a drug that requires a prior authorization, quantity limits, or step therapy. Usually they're not too bad, but you may want to consider that. And I think the final thing is just the overall go-to number that would show in January for your total costs for the year. That is your bottom line number you're looking at towards making a decision.
I also think it's important for people to know there is some financial assistance for your Part D plans. Can you go over some of that briefly?
Okay, so we have Extra Help, which is administered through Social Security. The application is actually on the Social Security site. So if you're an individual and your gross income, and I do mean gross, is under $1,615 for an individual or $2,175 for a couple, your assets are under 14,000 and change for an individual and under 29,000 for a couple, you're eligible for some form of extra help, which means you're going to get some help with your premium, your deductible, and the cost of the medicine. If your income reaches a lower threshold, you would even get more help, maybe not have to pay a premium or a deductible and pay no more than like $3.70 for generics, and now it'll be $9.20 for brand drugs. So we always are searching, we always ask income and assets because we want to be sure you can get this program. Now there's one other program because you go, oh my income is over that. Well, there is the Maryland Senior Prescription Drug Assistance Program, which this year is going to be paying up to $50 a month towards your Part D premium. And it also has a little extra. It enables you to switch plans once mid-year, which is a very nice flexibility that you have. For this, they do not look at assets. You can have $1 million in the bank, doesn't matter. But your income for a single needs to be under approximately $38,000 and a couple under $42,000. Just call us, or you can Google the site and do the application. And it really is a nice little benefit.
Excellent. I think the takeaway from our talk today is that it pays to do research every year. Would you agree with that?
That is so very important. Half the time you may keep your plan, it might be the best, but the other half of the time you really would be better served by switching plans.
For those who need SHIP's assistance, whether it's related to Part D or other Medicare insurance products, please call SHIP at 410-887-2059. Sherry is also providing Medicare talks at our 50 Plus Virtual Expo. Sherry, thanks for being on today's show.
And thank you for having me.
We're going to take a short break. When we return, we will conclude today's show with exciting news about travel, senior box office, and what's happening at your local senior center.